Hey there, hope you are well. Welcome to the shift with Mercy Valarie. It's been a while since I was here to do a lengthy video like the one I want to do today. In case you're new in this community, I'd like you to kindly hit the subscription button, all right? So that you get notifications whenever I do videos of this kind, all right? And it's been quite a while since I did a long video. I've been doing lots of shorts, but I've been working on content that will be rolling out very soon. Content that is engaging, that is encouraging, that is transformative, but content that will also intrigue you, but also will be fun. You are in this community and you're going to learn so much, and I'm super excited just to have this conversation with you and to make sure that you're growing as an individual, as a parent, as a student, as a leader, as a manager, whichever position and sphere you find yourself in life, that you really get to grow, and to develop yourself to be even better. Okay. Great, so don't forget, hit that subscription button because a lot of videos will be rolling out very soon. Okay, awesome. Now, I want to talk to you today about, I've been having and engaging with leaders of all walks of life, and I've also been really developing myself as a leader, getting to do a few courses here and there. And one thing I've noticed is leaders have it rough when it comes to having difficult conversations. So it doesn't matter which sphere you are in. You could be a parent, a mother, a father, a brother, or a sister, and you find it hard to have difficult conversations. Remember, leadership spreads across all strata and spheres of life. You could be a manager and you're having a very difficult colleague and you don't know how to start this conversation. Maybe you want to reprimand them, or you want to court them, or maybe you want to even fire them, but you don't know how to start this hard conversation. It could be just gotten employment and maybe a promotion of the like, and finding it hard to have this conversation with your boss. Maybe you even have feedback to give your boss. They're not treating you the way they're meant to be treating you, and you're wondering, so where do I begin from? Okay, so we usually have in life, there's so many conversations that we need to have, but the toughest conversations we need to have are the toughest conversations. I remember I was handling one of my young people who I'm working with, and this person is a Gen Z, and there's some work I'd given them to do, and they're not performing it very well. In fact, they were meant to train another person, because this is my mantra. Every single time you enter into an organization or you get into a new role, the first thing you need to do is to get a successor. All right, make sure you identify a successor, because you're not going to be there for the longest time. You're not going to be there forever. And whenever you're out of that particular place, there shouldn't be a gap. You should have been able to train someone else to take care of your responsibilities and your roles, so that there's no gap. The gap is not felt in any way. And so I gave this young, lovely Gen Z lady some assignment to do, and to train someone else to undertake that assignment, because they were going to be involved in something else. And so what I get to find out is they didn't quite train it the way they were meant to. I mean, it was so rushedly done, and the person who was meant to undertake this task did not do it very well. And so I come in and I'm thinking, okay, this is one of my best young people that I work with, and I'm thinking, so how do I begin to reprimand them? Because I need to call out this. I need to call it out, or else it's going to be repetitive and I won't be helping them. So most of the times you hear people saying they don't want to have tough conversations because they care about this particular individual that they don't want to have tough conversations with. Like, for instance, my case where I didn't know how to apprehend this particular young, amazing, and she's very she's a lady who has great potential, and you cannot say that you love a person and you're not going to reprimand them. Ideally, what I've learned is when you deny the person the feedback, then you're actually selfish as a leader, or in whichever sphere you're in. You can imagine, let's look at birth parenting, for instance. If you are a parent and you have a child or a daughter, a son or a daughter who is not behaving very well the way you meant, the way they're meant to behave, and then you tell yourself as a parent that you're not going to give them feedback because you care about that particular child. I mean, that is just outrightly so wrong, So the best thing to do as a parent will be to reprimand your child and tell them this and this is wrong. This behavior or this character is not acceptable in this particular family, and going forward I don't want you to behave that way. All right, and then you give them, you be very clear about your expectations about their behavior next time. Okay, that is when you are a caring parent. And that's how, where we find ourselves as leaders in whichever sphere you get yourself in, why you don't want, never be a selfish leader by avoiding to confront issues or to confront individuals because of their quote unquote bad behavior. When you do that, you're being very, very selfish, being very selfish leader, so to speak. Okay, so for instance, what did I do? I went ahead and I spoke to this lady and I told her, whatever you did was not right. So this is what I expect from you, and this is what the outcome that I expect from you next time. Because in this organization we have values that leaders, and this is not one of the values or one of the tenets that I was expecting from you as my colleague and as a team player. Because every single time you don't confront anything that will affect the team, then eventually the team will not work together coherently as they're meant to be. Now, I'm going to share with you some 3 tips, okay? Some 3 tips on how to communicate or how to have tough and difficult conversations. Remember, every single time you're going to have a difficult conversation, please compose yourself, all right? Don't go with any kind of acrimony. Okay, remember to love people, to value people, because there is no need of you leading people whom you do not love. Love is key. Value them, love them, and also add value to them, and get to listen to them as well. All right, so remember to compose yourself every single time you're going to have a difficult conversation. Compose yourself. Let all the emotions disappear. Okay, I know you can still be emotional, but make sure you're very, very what I'm looking for the right word. Make sure you are very, very authentic. You're very, very intentional, and there is no kind of acrimony that you have against this person because you love them and you want the best for them. So 3 tips. Number 1 is communicate confidently. Remember that when you're going to confront or have a difficult conversation, have the confidence. Believe in your ability to handle that particular situation, unless it's a situation that is out of your control or that is out of hand, that you need somebody probably who is higher in authority than you to be able to confront that particular situation. Okay, because there's some instances where you cannot actually confront this particular individual. If they need a higher authority, somebody who can stamp the authority and tell them this was actually wrong, so that also you're not accused of being skewed in terms of how you're looking at things. So it's good to detach your emotions from the actual reality and the actual whatever you want to confront this person about, or the tough conversation that you want to have with this particular individual. Detach your emotions. Remember to detach emotions, okay? So that it becomes out so clearly that you can handle that particular situation, all right? You can do research on that particular situation in case it's something that you need to research on. You can consult, get to consult as well. There's a lot of safety in counsel from different kind of people before you're able to have this difficult conversation, if in case you cannot have it with a particular person immediately. That's number 1. Number 2, communicate clearly. All right, always remember to listen to the person as well. Even as much as you're giving them feedback, get to listen to what they also have to say. All right, it's very, very important to repeat what the other person is saying and ask them, is this what you're saying? Am I really understanding and getting you right? I have found myself in instances where I have to repeat and say, is this what you mean? So that you're not miscommunicating with the individual. So remember to communicate clearly. Number 3, control your responses and adjust your communication style based on the situation or the person. Okay, remember, like I told you, detach your emotional feelings from what is the situation at hand. Remember to be very, very objective. Don't beat about the bush. Be very clear and be very, very objective. So I'd like to leave with you. This is what I'd like you to go and practice. If you have been keeping, like you haven't had this hard conversation and there's somebody you need to have the hard conversation with, make sure you go and have the hard conversation with them. And don't forget to subscribe.